Stoicism. What it is. Meaning and what it means to be a Stoic. Stoicism is a philosophical school and doctrine that emerged in ancient Greece, which values fidelity to knowledge and focus on everything that can be controlled by the person himself. He despises all kinds of external feelings, such as passion and extreme desires. Stoicism. Know what there is behind this doctrine. The Stoic school was created by Zeno of Citium in the city of Athens around 300 BC. However, the doctrine became effectively known when it arrived in Rome. Its central theme held that the entire universe would be governed by a divine and rational natural law. Therefore, for human beings to achieve true happiness, they should depend only on their virtue, that is, their knowledge and values, completely abdicating addiction, considered by the Stoics an absolute evil. Stoicism also teaches you to keep a calm and rational mind, no matter what happens. Teaches that this helps humans to recognize and focus on what they can control and not worry and accept what they cannot control. The principles of Stoic philosophy, which guide the followers of the doctrine are: virtue is the only good and path to happiness. The person must always prioritize knowledge and act with reason. Pleasure is an enemy of the wise. The universe is governed by a natural and divine universal reason. Attitudes have more value than words, that is, what is done is more important than what is said. External feelings make human beings irrational and not impartial. You shouldn't ask why something happened in your life, but accept it without complaining, focusing only on what can be modified and controlled in that situation. Act prudently and take responsibility for your actions. Everything around us happens according to a law of cause and effect. Life and circumstances are not idealized. The individual needs to live with and accept his life the way it is. Based on these principles, it is possible to understand that a Stoic person is one who does not get carried away by beliefs, passions, and feelings capable of taking away a person's rationality when it comes to acting, such as desires, pain, fear, and pleasure. This is because these circumstances are unfounded and unreasonable. The Stoic person seeks to act rationally, even with the existence of these feelings. Not that the Stoic is an individual without feelings, but he is not a prisoner of them. The teachings of Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy focuses on practical life, on everyday actions and events, and on how human beings deal with these events rationally. According to Stoic thought, there are things that are not under people's control, and there are things that are possible to be controlled. In this case, about something that cannot be controlled, like the weather, for example, there is nothing that can be done to change its state. Ataraxia, self-sufficiency, denial of external feelings, and facing problems through reason are teachings of philosophy whose objective is to show that the individual should focus only on what is possible to control. You must be grateful for what you already have and deny extreme pleasures and emotions. According to Stoic philosophy, events beyond your control cannot bring you happiness. Happiness depends solely on events that you can control. The main teachings of Stoic philosophy are: ataraxia. The focus of Stoic philosophy is the achievement of happiness through ataraxia, an ideal of tranquility in which it is possible to live serenely and with peace of mind. For the Stoics, the individual could only achieve this happiness through his own virtues, that is, his knowledge. Self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is one of the main goals of the Stoics. This is because Stoicism preaches that each being must live according to his nature, that is, he must act responsibly with what happens in his own life. Therefore, as a rational being, human beings must make use of their own virtues in order to achieve their greatest purpose, happiness. Denial of external feelings. Stoics consider that external feelings, passion, lust, etc., are harmful to human beings, as they make them stop being impartial and become irrational. All these feelings are seen as addictions and as causing absolute harm that compromise decision-making and the organization of thoughts in a logical and intelligent way. Facing problems reasonably. In the search for a peaceful and happy life, Stoic philosophy argues that all external factors that compromise moral and intellectual perfection must be ignored. Even in adversity and problematic or difficult situations, people must always choose to react calmly and rationally, without letting external factors compromise their judgment and action capacity. Differences between Stoicism and Epicureanism. Epicureanism was also a philosophical school of ancient Greece, founded between 341 to 270 BC by Epicurus. This philosophical doctrine believed that the individual only achieves peace and tranquility if he finds the absence of pain. While Stoicism teaches that one should use reason, deny earthly pleasures, and accept pains and problems, dealing only with what can be controlled, Epicureanism preaches that individuals should seek moderate pleasures to reach a state of tranquility and liberation from pain. However, the pleasures cannot be exaggerated, as they can present disturbances that make it difficult to find serenity, happiness, and bodily health. Meanwhile, Stoicism, contrary to Epicureanism, preaches that the pursuit of happiness lies in the elimination of pleasures and in rational actions in the face of any circumstance. Epicureanism, on the other hand, is materialistic. He does not understand that the universe has a natural rational order. There is no universal reason that governs the entire universe, of which the human soul is a part. Meanwhile, Stoicism believes that the universe is governed by a natural and divine order. Major Stoic philosophers. Zeno of Citium. Zeno was the founding philosopher of Stoicism. Born on the island of Cyprus, he was the creator of the Stoic school. The meaning of life is to be in accord with nature. Marco Aurelio. Marcus Aurelius was a powerful Roman emperor who followed Stoicism during his 19-year reign. He was known for his peace and tranquility, even in the midst of the problems faced by his kingdom, facing circumstances rationally. He compiled his thoughts and conclusions about life in the book entitled Meditations. A phrase from Marcus Aurelius that sums up Stoic thought well is, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Epithet. The second major reference of Stoicism is Epictetus, who was born as a slave and, throughout his life, founded his own Stoic school, teaching some very influential people in Rome, including the Emperor Marcus Aurelius himself. His teachings are compiled in the book Manual of Epictetus. One of the philosopher's phrases that explains the Stoic doctrine is, "Destroy from yourself desires and fears, and you will have nothing to tyrannize you." Seneca. Tutor and advisor to the famous Roman Emperor Nero, Seneca was also a great politician and writer. As a philosopher, he was one of the main representatives of Stoicism in the Roman Empire. His thoughts and teachings were compiled in a few books, the main one being Letters of a Stoic. One of his most famous phrases is, "Sometimes even living is an act of courage." Stages of Stoicism. Stoicism is divided into three main periods: ethical, ancient, eclectic, middle, and religious, recent. Phase 1. The so-called ancient or ethical Stoicism was lived by the founder of the doctrine, Zeno of Citium, 333 to 262 BC, and was completed by Chrysippus of Solent, 280 to 206 BC, who would have developed the Stoic doctrine and transformed it into the model known in Europe. Present. Level 2. In Middle or Eclectic Stoicism, the movement began to spread among the Romans, with Panaetius of Rhodes, 185 to 110 BC, being the main motivator for the introduction of Stoicism into Roman society. The most striking feature of this period, however, was the eclecticism that the doctrine suffered from the absorption of Plato and Aristotle's thoughts. Posidonius of Apamea, 135 BC to 50 AD, was responsible for this mixture. Phase 3. Finally, the third phase of Stoicism is known as religious or recent. Members of this period saw philosophical doctrine not as part of a science, but as a religious and priestly practice. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was one of the main representatives of religious Stoicism.